Alright, well, here she is. As much as I hate doing it, she is going up for sale. You're looking at a 2008 SMR510. This is a bike that I got lucky to find and bought her about a month ago. She was an estate sale bike. She's got about 1,400 miles on her. I put on about 200, 150, 200 just getting it right. But essentially she's brand new, almost all OEM. She does have a couple of mods. All the details will be in the specs. Obviously the arrow pipe being one of the mods. I've got the Can air filter on there, that being another one. And you can see some red bling that I've added. A little bit of drop down mirrors, sumo style. I added that as well. But she is as good as a new bike can be, considering she's 2008. So what we're going to do, we're going to go take her over and get some fuel. You get to see what she sounds like, how she rides, a little bit anyway. And if you're looking to buy a 510, I'm telling you right now, you're not going to find a better one probably in the country. Only thing that's not perfect on her is just like all the other Odos, the button here for mileage and scrolling through all of your options, that rubber broke. So I've got the standard, what I call electric tape mod, and that's what I've done on her, and it works fine. So you're looking at the Yoda here. We'll put her on top tack, I guess. But these bikes, if you don't know them, you should watch my other video, 5 top reasons why I love my SMR510, because I'm telling you right now, these bikes are a blast. They've got horsepower to the wheel that's pretty much top of the line, top of the heap for this range of bike. I mean, currently you're not seeing any bikes being built 510 cc's. You got your KTM 500, obviously, which I do happen to have in my stable. KTM 500 completely sumoed. But guess what? This girl here, she would beat that 500 in the straights, in the twisties, and on a flat track. Only place KTM is going to get her will be on the dirt. That's because, well, the KTM is really more of a dirt bike. So the short story on this is I got her from an estate sale. She had some issues. She had been sitting for, I don't even know how many years, 5, 6, 7, 8 years. The ethanol took its toll on the fuel pump. So I completely redid the fuel system. I know these front ones are backwards. This is the 6th one I've owned. So I went ahead and replaced the fuel pump, the regulator, cleaned everything out, and the radiators were also cracked because the previous owner was running, I don't know what he was running in it, but they each were leaking a little bit just sitting there. Maybe it was what happened over the course of all the years, but I happen to have bunches of parts for these bikes, so I just went ahead and put a set of used radiators in there. So the coolant's all good. Fuel, I'm sorry, the water pump I checked is nice and tight and working perfectly. She's got good coolant flow through her. The engine oil's been changed. The oil filter's been changed, and I also did the power up on these bikes. I'll show you. They have a O2 sensor down here which hooks up to the ECU, and there's what they call the Lambda Delete power up kit that they sell for these things. I've got a couple of them laying around, so I use the O2 sensor when I'm tuning this bike, because I also have an iBeat and the software for tuning her. So I went ahead and did the tune up, got her TPS set about perfect, and went ahead and did the delete. So now she's got the power up kit, which definitely added a little more power, because it doesn't worry about emissions. You're essentially tricking the bike into saying screw the EPA, and the net result is that you get a lot more power to the wheel. I don't know what this is going to do on a dyno. I could tell you my other one, my SMR530, big board, maxed out with mods, too many to even talk about. She puts about 58 and a half, almost 59, depending on the setting, to the wheel. I'm going to tell you that this one here has got to be 54, if not 55, based on what I'm feeling. Could be 56, but she's doing a lot, and it's, well, I refer to them as my velociraptors, and basically that's what she is. She's a raptor on two wheels, man. So if you're not ready for a bike like this, don't get it. Get a DRZ, get a KLX 300. Of course, the big thing about this is that it's got the 6th gear. It's over 500 cc's, and it can run with the big boys when I go up to the mountains. That's why I love them so much. But again, this is supposed to be a sell video, so what can I talk about to sell this thing? There's not a lot to talk about because it's so dang new. In fact, this is the newest one I have ever owned, and it's kind of breaking my heart to sell her because she's so pretty. I feel like I should just stick her in the basement and let her sit there in case my 530 explodes or something. So these wheels were never on the bike. I went ahead and put them on, removed the wheels that came with it. So the wheels are perfect. If there's one thing I'd be concerned about, it would be the tires, because they've been sitting. But you know what? I took it out a few times, and you can see they're not actually wearing bad. They're old. I'm not going to kid you. And if you're crazy fanatical about things, maybe you'll change them out. But that's up to you. I trust them. I at this point, after 100 miles, I decided they're fine. I mean, I pushed her. I tried to get them to not work. I tried to get them to misbehave and make me feel like I couldn't trust them, but they held up. They've got a little bit of wear on them, but the previous owner didn't do much on them, I guess, because, well, you can see the shape they're in. But the wheels are gorgeous. These are the most pretty OEM wheels I've ever had. What I was so impressed with is the spokes. There's just no corrosion on them. I mean, look at this. Look at the linkage. It's brand freaking new. The cover's got a little bit of wear on it. That might be able to be buffed out. But the head and all the gaskets and seals, nothing's leaking. Like I said, I added the drop down, filled in the mirror holes with a couple of blue screws. Obviously red might be better if you're fanatical about it. These bikes have what we call a decompressing lever, which releases the compression for an easier startup. And I haven't been using this thing enough to tell you how important that's going to be, but I would recommend using it as often as you can. And I say that because it just takes a little bit of wear and tear off your battery. She's got the arrow pipe on her. As you can see, that's not OEM. She's got, that's pretty funny. I'm driving around with a cover up tag. We'll see if anybody gets upset about that. She has the OEM lights, and I'm not a fan of that, but they work. These are the originals and they work. Personally, I run fork lights that I put up here. Actually, I think I put them down here on my 510s, on all my bikes. And on the back, there's this tailinator that you can get. You can see it on my SMR530. Actually, what I'll do is I'll include a little picture of it in this video so you can see what it looks like. But it tucks up the tag like on an angle like this, and then you have a little LED that serves all purposes: tail light, brake light, and directionals. So there's no need to have a big honky elephant trunk hanging down back there. What else? Not a lot that I can talk about because, well, I just hadn't done a lot other than clean her up and make sure she's ready for sale. I'm kind of fanatical about these bikes, and I would not put this on the market if I didn't think she's ready. But I tested her today, and I'm not going to kid you, she is a beast. The compression is awesome. I did change the skins on her. She had some funky old faded standard OEM skins. The white for me is just as clean as it gets, but hey, whoever buys it, go at it, man. There's 1,000 ways of making these things look however you want them to look. So the most important thing is that you've got a motor with 1,400 miles on it, basically just broken in. These motors by the service manual say you should rebuild the top end at 6,000. I can tell you from having driven many miles, I'm talking probably over 50,000 now between the different ones I've owned. I know it's over 30,000 when I last counted a while ago. I found that I can get safely 7,000 to 8,000 without doing a rebuild, and I've gone as long as 12,000. There was definitely some wear at 12,000, and I would not recommend that. But you don't have to rebuild it at 6,000 because the book says to. You can kind of use a little judgment there. Are you abusing the bike? Is the bike misbehaving? Does it have issues? A lot of people are afraid of these bikes. They call them time bombs and whatnot. That's a bunch of crap. I can tell you from my experience that these bikes are, I'm not going to say easy to take care of. I change the oil every 500 or 600 miles. I did put a new battery in her, and I put the K&N filter. I'm a big K&N air filter guy because they just get all the air in there. They don't mess around. And these bikes, they like a lot of air. So there's big bore kits for this. All the parts that you need, you can get. If there's a part that you ever need, I repeat, you can get. Don't listen to what you read on the internet. Hard to get parts and nobody knows how to fix them and all that BS. Lots of us know how to fix them. Most any KTM dealer can deal with these things. But Facebook groups, I'm in 3 or 4 of them, are very supportive. And I've got a whole plethora of different suppliers for whatever part I want to buy. So if you're looking to upgrade from a 400 like a DRZ, I'm not going to tell you this is definitely going to be in your hitting zone because the DRZ is virtually indestructible and easy peasy to take care of. But if you're used to something like a 450, say a Honda 450 Sumo WR 450, if you're used to anything that's under 300 pounds that requires oil changes of 500 to 600 miles, then you're going to be fine with this. If you're used to something like a 701 that you can wait 3,000 or 4,000 miles, 5,000 miles according to the book, or even the SM610 that gave you 2,500, 3,000 in between oil changes, this is going to be a bit of a change. These bikes definitely need more attention. They vibrate a bit, so you got to constantly be watching for loose bolts. But for me, they are so worth it. I mean, they're just so much fun, and it just doesn't get any better than that when it comes to sumo. So if you got any questions, let me know. In this market right now, you're essentially buying a brand new bike, so keep that in mind. Where you're going to find a brand new SMR510, I don't think you're going to find it anywhere except in my garage. So I guess I should maybe get up to some speed. Just to show you this thing can go without even trying. Directional's all working. Like I said, I trust these wheels, so we can go into any kind of turn. You got a nice low end torque. And she's smooth, baby. I mean, she's tight, but she's smooth. If you've been thinking about getting one, if you've been waiting for the right one to come around, this is it. You're not going to get a better chance, I'm promising you. So let me know if you got any questions, but pretty much the video and the description is going to say it all, because that's how I roll. I hope you like my cold start, cold ride SMR510 sale video, and until next time, see ya on one wheel.